this kind of in a way segues into the next topic about kind of oversaturation content online.
Mm.
Do you think there's maybe specific topics within FPV or particular videos, things that
I,
get copied and trends that come and go, and it's made people think that it's a lot easier than what it actually is? Do you think there's an oversaturation? So, I mean, we've said that there's so much information at our fingertips
Hmm.
now. Do you think in some ways is there too much information, or is there not? Is it all off to one side where we should really be looking at the other
I
type
think
of
so. Sorry,
information
go
that's
on,
out
Dave.
there?
100%. Oh, sorry, buddy. 100% following on from what you were saying a second ago about kids wanting that instant gratification. So I was amazed that kids these days seriously finish school and what job do they want to do? I want to be an
YouTube
influencer.
creator.
I want to be a YouTuber.
Hmm.
Hmm.
So what someone do? They create a YouTube channel of them learning how to build a drone and them learning how to fly and stuff like that. So there's people creating content on them building something that they actually don't know how to build themselves and stuff. Like
Hmm.
um, people asking, okay, cool, what's relevant about motor timing and stuff on an ESC and stuff like that, and some of the more detailed stuff is getting missed. And that's where, like, I like a website. I keep coming back to it, the Oscar Ling website, because I can search, I can scroll and to the section I want.
Hmm.
I'm not having to watch an assembly of something and that information. I can get a couple of paragraphs and that answers all that technical information. But if you type in how to on YouTube and then how to FPV, there's
Overwhelming.
like 28 million results.
Yep.
I did it as an experiment before tonight. It's like there's a lot of it.
How to do
And there's
FPV?
the way the hobby's changed so much and so quickly. There's a lot of information that was good at one time that's no longer good, no longer relevant, and a lot of times that's hard to weed through too. You get finding the resource that's a good resource is tricky to do. Finding a reliable resource is tricky to do.
Um,
And how do you even know you're getting reliable information? I don't. You can some of it you can kind of figure out as you do it. You get it and you realize that hey, this is actually really old, but where the hobby has changed so much so quickly, something that was like 2 years ago, you may look at it and go, well, that's probably still relevant. Nope, not relevant anymore. Drastically different now from what it was. Even heck, even 6 months maybe it might be out of date. It's kind of makes it hard to learn stuff. Having a like that site like you mentioned with Oscar and stuff, I used his website a lot when I was getting started. Um,
yeah.
very good resource. But you know, finding someone who maintains it and keeps it up to date is tough too. You know.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, like they put in so much work to that. And I think the fundamentals stay the same though. Like,
Right.
an RX, a TX, a power
Right.
supply, you know, a flight controller, an ASC, a
Right.
video transmitter. The component theory all stays relevant. It's
Hmm.
just more some of the chips change, the technology change, some of those things. Like
Right.
if we ask some of the new pilots what's BLHeli 32, they wouldn't
Yeah.
have a clue. They wouldn't have
Yep.
known about the great, BLHeli 32 purge. And now everyone's on BLHeli S and AM32 stuff. You know,
Hmm.
that's,
Do,
yeah,
do
like,
you guys think online? Earlier we talked about the different disciplines and stuff that we all fly. Do you? I always kind of think to myself that 5 inch freestyle seems to have been the thing that everybody wanted to do. They seen videos online and
Hmm.
um, 5 inch flippy flopping here, there, and everywhere, and that's what they wanted to do. And 5 inch freestyle was the center of FPV. I'm not so sure that's the case anymore. Um, what do you guys think? Do you think 5-inch freestyle is still kind of the center of the
Oh,
FPV world?
I would have, but now I'm going to have to go with like the past 6 months has been um, like everyone with their mountain surfing and long range, like the TBS, Torpedoes and
Hmm.
stuff like that. And that's sort of been really getting flogged at the moment. That
yeah, it's
whole,
interesting that, isn't it?
you
The
know,
the bigger
tip
stuff
planes, you can go on
is definitely.
plug
I'm
and
seeing
play
more and more
planes.
of that. Even bind and flies
Yeah.
coming out. These sort of 7-inch things, and
Yeah,
yeah, it's
yeah,
it's quite interesting. But I guess
Yeah.
it's perceived as being maybe easier to, more attainable if you don't have these sort of lightning fast
yeah.
reflexes. So yeah, I'm not sure.
Mm.
True.
Yeah. But
Yeah, so
sorry, you
oh
go.
no, go ahead. Yeah, no, I was just gonna say. So whenever I was coming up with the topics, I had kind of thought, how 5-inch freestyle had always been the dominant kind of force of FPV, and I was wondering, is that because there is an saturation of 5-inch kind of freestyle stuff online, and it's actually masking what the true reality of the FPV community is, and it's actually a lot more diverse
Well,
than
Mm.
people, newcomers watching
I
YouTube
think that's very
or
fair to
whatever would
say.
would think.
so
Yeah, when I think
that's
about my behavior when I'm sort of,
Yeah,
scrolling through YouTube and that sort of stuff, I find myself scrolling past that kind of stuff now, even though it's absolutely amazing flying and, that sort of, and I'd be really, blown away by the skills. Yeah, I find myself scrolling past that. So I think that's a very fair point.
Hmm.
I think the
yeah.
word you can use is it's the standard
Mm,
of so when you say open class racing, that's a 5-inch drone running on six anything up to 6S. So that's what an open class is.
mm,
Traditionally, like back in the days, all the guys realized that 5-inch
mm,
was the most efficient stuff, and they started off on, 19 whatever they were motors and stuff like that, then went to 2207 motors and stuff like that. But and whoops back then when they first came out, like brushed whoops, they were a thing.
Hmm.
And
yeah,
now like trying to get a brushed whoop is they don't exist.
yeah,
Yep.
So, and with I think the retailers and stuff and the big brands are playing at this as well of going, you know, places are coming into winter now and stuff like that. And cool, okay, it's whoop season. So whoops are
yeah.
becoming more popular. We need to
Hmm.
punch out bind and fire kits. So Nick
I
Burns is like forever reviewing some
I
kind of thing.
I kind of wonder, kind of linking back some of the previous topics, whether whoops and sub 250 is now actually the standard of FPV rather than freestyle. Because I would hazard a guess that each one of us has at least one whoop in our bag, where each one of us may not necessarily have a 5-inch freestyle or a long range quad, but most people all have a whoop or a sub 250 quad. And I wonder, is that actually now kind of the standard bearer of FPV
Oh,
rather
I'm not.
than 5-inch?
I would say a
I've
lot
got
of
to
people are
agree with
moving
that.
that direction. With
Yeah,
with regulations and whatnot. It's easier to fly those without worry about regulations and
Not drawing attention
not.
to yourself as
Uh,
well.
It,
They're quieter.
it,
That's
yeah, that
yeah.
too. Yeah,
mm,
much quieter. Yeah,
it's
very true.
mm,
it's the standard bit of kit. It's you can
yeah,
customize it, you can 3D print it, you can have fun with it. Like
Yeah.
that's I've got to agree with that. I'd never thought of that, but it's it is
yeah.
the thing that you throw in your
Kind of,
bag for
When I
the
think
Hmm.
about
fun,
all
the
my
fuck
most
around. Like
flown
Hmm.
aircraft, it's the small one. Just because you can fly it in I could be flying it in my office right now.
yeah,
That sort of stuff. I find myself picking it up all the time. But as for
Right.
like sharing
yeah,
that content, I mean, it's for me really that it's for yeah, it's not
yeah.
so much that I'd want to share that with anyone, I guess, or more than get the flight feel for it, for my
Hmm.
personal sort of kicks.
Hmm.
guess it's one of those things where the 5-inch quad, you can have a GoPro on it, so you
Yeah.
can do that nice polished, smooth footage, and you upload that, and everybody sees that, and then everybody wants to replicate it, where
Yeah.
nobody really wants to watch that analog grainy footage
Well, I
That's
mean,
of your
true.
you
tiny
got the
whip
digital
flipping
stuff
around.
now, even on the really small
Yeah,
ones, so you can get some
Oh,
really
for
good
sure.
video even on those really small ones
Yeah,
now. It's kind of crazy.
it's
yeah,
it's really funny just having the epiphany about the Whoop thing, because every single week I try to like find a random pilot and do a shout out and mention them,
Hmm.
like, you know, promote someone else, because
Mhm.
to me, all this is going to get me in trouble, but all pilots want to promote themselves and, you know, be the best and get all the sponsors, and
Hmm.
everyone's, you know,
Mhm.
chasing the free gear and stuff. But this guy did a video today and it was for an iGal challenge, and it was a
Hmm.
complete and utter just, he was having a laugh and having fun, and he did it so well. And I
Hmm.
thought, like, that's the essence of what it was about, you know, the freestyle stuff. It was nothing serious. It was a bit of fun, and
Yep.
he just did it so well. And man, like, if someone
Yeah.
does a good job, like, there's too much
yeah,
negativity in the world. I think, like, you know, if we actually
Yeah.
do a bit more
I think
positivity,
you've hit the
like,
nail on the head
be a
there,
much
Dave.
nicer
Actually,
place.
it's more
Yeah.
fun content, isn't it? It's more inclusive. You know, when you see, I'll take FPV Vegan. You know, his videos are all about. There's always the people around him. You know, it's less about the flight footage and more about the whole thing.
yeah,
You know, which is just different to a very
Yeah.
slick sort of Captain
Yep.
Vanover
yeah,
style. 5-inch. Precision freestyle video.
Yep.
It's totally different content
Mhm.
and really refreshing in a way for sure.